So anyway, you asked me how did I get started doing hair, and this is a true story. I started out in my grandmother's basement doing cousins and aunties and then uncles, and at some point I was just doing everybody's hair. So I thought maybe this is the business I need to go into. So in high school, we had vocational schools, and I got into the cosmetology program. And prior to that, I worked at a barber shop. Shout out to Afro Knot in Flint. But I could only sweep the floor and take the jerry curl rods down. I hate that I'm telling my age with that, but I wanted to do barbering. I wanted to do men's hair. And so I got around to practicing a couple times. You know, a few guys let me practice on their hair. But it took some really finagling, because most people don't want you practicing on their hair. But one guy let me practice on his hair, the first guy, and I really messed his hair up. It was horrible. And he told me that he was going to scream and embarrass me if I didn't go out with him. So yeah, that was a really bad experience. The haircut and then the date. So I got a lot better after that, because I didn't want to mess anyone else's hair up. I didn't know what I'd have to do. So that's how I got started. And thank you to all the people who let me practice before I realized my dream could come true and I can be a hairstylist. And after I got my license, I started on my journey, and it's been beautiful ever since. Interesting story, and it's actually true. Got to tell you about the client from hell. She was a little young lady, maybe in her 20s. She was a dancer, and so that was pretty fun at the time for me. I wanted to learn how to dance, so did my 70-year-old godmother. So she was teaching us how to twerk. And I thought, you know, if anybody could teach me how to twerk, a dancer could. So I was interested, and we were twerking around the shop. There were no other clients there, and I really wasn't paying attention to everything she was doing. But as she was twerking, I think she was putting things in her pants pocket, and, you know, her purse, because shortly after we all got done dancing and I finished her hair, after she left, I noticed some things that were missing. So you don't want to be twerking while you're supposed to be working. You need to, you know, just do hair and maybe learn how to dance later. Yeah, another story that's really not so funny. I make custom-made wigs, and women bring them back for me to repair them or to style them. So I had a young lady to bring her wig back, and she lived in New York, so I had it for quite some time, and it was a beautiful piece. So I actually had fixed it, you know, styled it, colored it. It was beautiful. And one night late in the evening, I was still at my shop, and a young lady came in and she wanted to know about my custom made wigs. So I showed her a few pieces that I had, and I brought out this beautiful masterpiece that I had just been working on. And the young lady, she looked, you know, like a nice young lady. I didn't take her to be mischievous in any kind of way. So I actually let her see the piece, and she started asking me questions. And before you know it, we were engaged in this conversation, and she's looking around the shop. And she is a hairstylist. She tells me she's interested in renting a booth, and the salon is beautiful, and she's walking around looking. And I never noticed that she stuffed the wig in her jacket. So,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
she had me so indulged in conversation, I just didn't even think about the fact that she had never handed me back the wig until she left, of course. She left, and I began to look around, and I thought, wait a minute, something's missing. She took my wig. She took the wig. I had to make another wig to replace the wig. So, yeah, you want to pay attention. It's a $1,200 wig that I had just revamped, so worth even more than that now. And I have to replace the hair, and I have to put the manual labor into making a new one, and I have to do all this before my client flies in from New York. So yeah, you want to be paying attention when strange people come in and start looking around your shop. It's a terrible situation to lose such a valuable piece. Oh, true story. I had a receptionist one time, and the names and dates are changed to not embarrass this old lady because she's such a nice lady. I wouldn't want to do that to her. But she worked for me, and I probably was in my 20s, and I really didn't know all the ropes about dealing with people, employees. And so I had this lady working at the salon as a receptionist, and I began to notice that she was answering the phone and she would say, hello, hello, hello. Well, nobody's answering. I'm just going to hang up. And she would hang up the phone. So after she did that a few times, I said, hey, wait a minute. Don't hang up the phone. Let me see. I picked up the phone, and it's a client, and she's like, hey, why does that lady keep hanging up the phone on me? So I'm like, I don't know. I think maybe she's having a hearing issue. I don't know. So I did confront her and say, you know, you're hanging up the phone on the clients. I think maybe, are you hearing okay? And she was, oh, yes, I hear perfectly. I go to the ear doctor all the time. I can hear. I have no hearing issue. Well, it happened a couple more times before I just told her, you know, I don't know what the problem is, but I will pay for you to go have your ears checked because I believe that there's an issue there. And, you know, I tried to be as soft as possible. I didn't want to embarrass her and hurt her feelings. But I had to rectify the situation. I can't just have someone hanging up on the clients, right? So she refused to go get her hearing checked, and she kept on hanging up on people until I had to let her go. I just told her, you know, I can't have you hanging up on people. When I answer the phone, they're there, and they're saying that they said hello to you. There's nothing wrong with the phone. It's you. So once I told her that I had to let her go, she came back to work the next day, and she told me she didn't hear me fire her. So like she couldn't even hear me fire her. So we know that there was something wrong, definitely, with her hearing. Hello, this is Andria Brown for Honeycut Education. Thank you for watching the video.